We are live. Welcome to my video. My thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, Episode 4, Out of the Past. The episode is rated TV-14, so will this video be? There will be spoilers for everything leading up to and including this episode that is MCU or adjacent. And yeah, absolutely love this episode. Yeah, so glad that they did stay in the 50s because film noir is one of my favorite genres, and this is near the top of my favorite, parodies, loving homages of the, right up there with, what was that Sammy J and Randy parody sketch called Peaches, I think. Above the Charmed episode, and the holy crap! I swear it was on the tip of my tongue like 30 freaking seconds ago. But that's my memory is going. Maybe I'll remember it later over the course of this video. Anyway, let's see. I think I'll, let's start with, so Phil MD is waking up, and we immediately have the narration. We pretty early have some nice stark, camera angles, and the what are those called again? Those shades that make that very specific pattern on the floor when light comes through. And Phil MD, being very clever, he could break the handcuffs, but that's not. He plays it smarter than that. And let's see, we have the his him using what he knows about D'Souza, which he knows some of what D'Souza, well, I guess all of what D'Souza knows, but D'Souza doesn't know that Phil MD knows, and he certainly doesn't know what Phil MD knows that D'Souza doesn't know. And the idea that to pose as the, I said I was a fan. That was me doing the wave, I was trying to signal you. And let's see, the let's see, Deke and Elena going, and the thing about, next time we get a chance, that is, I do also appreciate them acknowledging, the MCU, sadly, a lot of the time, the heroes are fairly pro status quo, and here by the end of by the end of this episode, they're like, maybe next time we get a chance to, change the status quo, we take it. But they're driving, and Deke points out, they have a conversation about progress being slow. I mean, Elena pretty much comes out and says, the arc of, hopefully you remember the rest of that quote, because I sure as crap don't. The arc of something is slow, but it bends towards justice. The arc of time? Let's see, oh, right, I really love the start with, showing the ending, and then by the end we're back to it, but there's something that's different from what we previously suspected. Classic noir trope. And the thing with, he's like, I thought I shook you. Shook, it's a word. Look it up. Is that too vague of a reference? Will it not garner any kind of recognition from the audience? Anyway, yeah, the later on we see, yeah, because he thought he shook Phil MD. He didn't, he tried to shake both of them. He managed to shake one of them. But yeah, they're going through the place, and they realize, okay, so we didn't actually see it though, did we? Because that was definitely a faceless body. They defaced yet another body. The Chronicoms. We didn't. Yeah, I'm fairly confident we didn't actually see a new Chronicom in this episode. The one from earlier, the Chronicop, returned, but with the face we're used to. Yeah. Anyway, and let's see, they yeah, and the thing with, doesn't look that exciting, just, yeah. Well, are we happy? Oh yeah, we're happy. And the the train, very nicely done. Love the camera moving through the smoke, I want to say that's called, and then into the train car through that, and yeah. And I like the, Phil MD kind of has to, because like the people who were supposed to be there are not, because one of them went for the other. And the thing about the he does get a suitcase. That's what, it's a prime piece of baggage. What's the problem? And they're like, that's not who we thought was gonna be picking up that suitcase, but I guess that was that. Yeah, that had nothing to do with the suitcase. At first, I thought that might have been a purposeful misdirect. Actually, yeah, no, they were there for Wilfred because the Chronicop told him, and yeah, now he knows. Yeah, the Chronicop gave good info. He's trustworthy, suppose. Yeah, in a manner of speaking for him. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, the thing about sometimes geniuses can come across as pompous asses. You can say that again. And let's see. Oh, right, yeah. So obviously, I hope you didn't think I forgot. Poor long-suffering Enoch. This would be a perfect time for me to rejoin you on the Zephyr. Okay, I'll transfer you. And, by the third time it happens, Enoch is just like, hello, Deke. I will transfer you. Just like, yeah, at this point, just, yeah. Alas, my attention falls back to you. And also this guy, just, yeah, such a long, boring story, evidently. And I do also like that Enoch is still working at a bar. And I guess it is the same place, just like refurnished for the 50s from the 30s. But yeah, and the thing about, you're my best friend. I am still new to emotion, but if I were more familiar with it, I believe that I would be feeling a deep pang of intense sadness for what you just said. But no, instead he says, that's 9 drinks and that's what that is. But yeah, yeah, I quite liked that Sousa did see through, her act, and yeah, good fight, and Phil MD and others come to the rescue, and the suitcase opens. So that's the gadget, huh? And yeah, the thing about we have a plane to catch. Well, it already caught us, but figure of speech. It's a finger of speech, okay? And yeah, the let's see, is he just gonna be in the rest of the season? Because I could be down with that. Like, that's a fun. I've always really liked his character on Agent Carter. So yeah, very. I don't know. I could imagine maybe they'll just drop him off somewhere in time and let that be. Yeah. We'll see. I'll see. A lot of you have already watched the rest of the show. Let's see. That brings us to the Yeah, what was the next? Let's see. We have the really cool that they did a good job of, like, in retrospect, the signs were there. But yeah, I didn't realize until they said it. Yeah, May. Like for a while, it looks like may not be okay. Okay, and yeah, turns out all she can feel now are other people's emotions. So she had a panic attack because people were panicking around her in the 30s. No, in the 50s. Holy crap. In the episode before this one, and then she feels Simmons' excitement at the and yeah, then D'Souza's, so that's why she said who, yeah, and the and Simmons' concern when she's in the bed, and then she tries with Phil MD, and it's like, I feel that does absolutely nothing for me. And then we have the should I not make that reference? I haven't actually watched that movie. I really loved the trailer. At some point I'll probably watch it. I'm familiar with some of the other work by the author of the book. Anyway, let's see. That brings us to, yeah, the very clever, the thing of, other than his confusion and not knowing who we were, he also felt a strong, drive to run, and yeah, that was the first time they left him alone on the Zephyr, so that was the first, and certainly after they landed on the ground. So yeah, he took the first chance he got. I think that does cover. Yeah, very nicely done. The hotel, the signaling and the phone call and the whole thing. And yeah, the thing about, we think it was probably Ruskies. I don't think it was it wasn't the Russians, it was the Penguins. If the person calls for it themselves, it's not still called an intervention, is it? Because that, okay, kudos if you're watching this video right now and you have any clue what I just referenced, because holy crap. Yeah. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so yeah, it was Hydra. And yeah, Deke is right in front of him, and on account of the 20 years, he doesn't recognize Deke. understandable, you know, like, I mean, at most, you might think, oh, I guess Deke had a son or something, you know, but, you know, 20 years, liable to forget a face. But yeah, you know, he's like, you don't look like a salesman. I also don't look like a salesman, but I am a dead ringer for the Chad meme. And, you know, he scores one of the, yeah, one of the guards, and, or goons, I guess, one of his guys. And, yeah, the thing about, you know, I do remember you, but you pointed a gun at me once. Yeah, and I shot somebody else, someone who was attacking you. So, consider the debt paid. And he does say, you know, why were you there? And let's see, I think, but yeah, you know, Sousa realized it was Hydra, but he didn't realize how deep it went. He didn't know that Malik was in on it, was Hydra. I think that pretty much gets us to the, right, one of the things that was a nice bit of setup. When May says, that's cool, I forget who, but one of the others was like, only Simmons gets that excited about stuff like this. You know, at the time, we didn't think, you know, like, we were just thinking, what is going on with her? But no, yeah, it's, of course, yeah, very nicely done. I think that pretty well gets us to... But yeah, such a clever thing that, you know, we hear a gunshot and we see, you know, what appears to be Sousa fall into the pool. History doesn't have all the facts. You know, I also really loved... Now I remember... Oh, thank goodness. Okay, yeah. So another of the noir parody, loving homages that this is on the level of. When Whose Line Is It Anyway? Did they just call it narration, maybe? You know, I need a hammer. I knew he needed a hammer. He also needed a couple of nails and a good screw. Yeah, still very fond of that. Yeah, the narration, you know, there's nothing to worry about. I was worried. But yeah, you know, he explains, well, you know, some of the benefits include you can be hit in the back and you can survive with your face underwater for a while, you know, because yeah, like the guy went up, you know, right, pull over, confirm kill. Yeah, like no human being can hold their breath for that long. Let's see, I think, yeah, I quite appreciated that the tease for the next... So yeah, they're apparently in the 70s, you know. And yeah, it included an Alice Cooper song, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Is that what's being referenced in that trailer? That I swear... Okay, it's been a while. Maybe it's up now. I'm not going to check right now because of my wrists. But for ages, I could not find what, in my opinion, is the best trailer for the 1999 Mel Gibson movie Payback, where they do, you know, they say, this is Porter. He is a nice guy. These are bad guys, and this is one very bad girl. And then it describes some of the plot, and then it goes, no more Mr. Nice Guy. But yeah, it's somewhere on one of my VHS tapes, but I cannot remember which, and it's possible it wouldn't even work anymore, and I am a little bit afraid to turn on my VCR. I mean, it's probably not going to, like, blow up, but, yeah, it's old. I guess I don't have to say VCR and is old. Once I've said VCR, you know that it's old. Anyway, yeah, so I I don't remember which movie it was, but I'm pretty sure I actually liked that trailer more than... Oh, it was Universal Soldier: The Return, wasn't it? Because that was a 99 movie. Yeah, I think that might be... Yeah, I enjoy watching that trailer more than I enjoy watching that movie. And, yeah, I mean, if you're unsure of why that is, congratulations on not watching Universal Soldier: The Return. I envy you. Let's see. They, yeah, that... But yeah, other than, you know, that's how we know it's the 70s, and I love everyone's like, really, you know, because they were hoping to be home. And maybe they're also not Alice Cooper fans, I don't know. But then, other than that, we have the, what was the other thing there? We have the, yeah, it also doubles as, you know, yeah, the you know, Corona Cop did approach Phil MD and say, you know, we'll escalate. And, yeah, we're seeing the escalation, and I'm really, really stoked to see. So, like, if I understand correctly, basically, the next episode is during the 70s, and it will face at least 15 years of Chronocops talking to Hydra back when they had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. in the 50s. So yeah, that's exciting. I'm interested. And yeah, you know, it was just a matter of time before they did do something more. Let's see, and then we have the yeah, really, really loved the thing with, you know, yeah, he's rebooted the you know, Simmons fixes Phil MD, and then, you know, color returns, and, you know, he's like, oh, I can see color again, and there's no more narration. That's diegetic. That's wonderful. I suppose some nitpickers might say, well, what about the scenes where Phil MD wasn't even present? Why were those in black and white as well? Why was there narration for those? I mean, maybe that's him reflecting on it shortly before, you know, after having been filled in on everything shortly before Simmons fixes him. And also Rule of Cool applies, so there. Right, yeah, so, I just realized I forgot to finish off the, right, and, yeah, maybe they are just, for at least some more of this season, going to maintain this thing of 2 episodes. You know, they go to a certain decade, do 2 episodes, and then move on to another decade. Are they going to jump roughly 20 years, sometimes slightly shorter, maybe, each time? Because I don't necessarily have a problem with it. It's just that really only leaves the 90s as the because it would be silly to do the 2010s, because that's when the show started. Maybe they'll do 1 decade jumps, so they could also do the 80s. I'm not sure they would get much out of the early 2000s, since that's so close to when the MCU started anyway. But yeah, yes. So the conversation between Phil MD and Chronicop, you know, like, yeah, you know, Chronicop is like, we'll escalate, and then, you know, Phil MD is like, you know, we'll retaliate, to which Chronicop answers, yeah, don't be so sure. And he turns to Udo Kier, and then we get a really cool intro to a game that's better than I feel like a lot of people gave it credit for. I think it was really just the fact that, you know, the tone was not quite what we had hoped for, considering the earlier entries in the franchise, but yeah. I am looking forward to talking about that. Obviously, first we're going to talk Firestorm, the expansion pack to Tiberian Sun, but yeah, right now it's kind of depending on, you know, the I try to do one video game review per week, and I kind of need for one of my video games to take me more than a week to complete in order for, you know, and then I'll do a review from memory, but yeah, you know, we will, I'll see you when we get there. If we ever get there, I'll see you when we get there.